see how it's got anything to do with me. Oh, hurry, I need my beat at any expense. It doesn't make sense, but every cell in my body eats its protein. Oh, grass is only for cows and rabbits that don't know how to kill and conquer, to win and rule. Oh, it's what we learn at school. We don't worry about seas. We recycle and sort by swords. We've banned all plastic straws, quit smoking. Oh, every paycheck we get, 10% is donated to clean our conscience, and it works out great. Woo-hoo. Why should we change? Sleepless, be more efficient. Come on, perform better, climb higher, educate away. I am all my degrees, my masters. Hey, look at me, I am somebody. It's what I've learned at carbon dioxide. My conclusion is that it's all a lie. Our guns are mine, we're not smart, we will survive. We've got technology, it's not a lie, we will survive. A
There we are. At least it looks like we are up and running to me.
We got no Bonte cam.
Ah, well, that can be fixed fairly easily by turning it on. So, welcome everybody. Last time, our intrepid band of adventurers, to be named, name pending, whatever you want to call it, had themselves a little jamboree with a little bandit camp, and rescued a bunch of, rescued one human. Gave them some intel that her town was being raided by naughty hobgoblins clamping everybody in irons. So, having done that, and having said that, we will jump straight into the recap from last session, starting with Zara.
Anyways, our fearless scouts went scouting and found us some nice hobgoblins and dwarves with a lady clapped in irons, awaiting a quite unsavory fate. We went and murderized all of the bad guys, nearly getting some of us killed in the process, because what's combat without being almost murderized? Our fearless witch, Maywin Gillow, who fled from the first fight in session 0, was there, and she stepped out of her house, went, "Oh, it's those assholes again," and ran away. The lady we saved, which we haven't asked her name yet, she's just captive woman, TM. She also like released a pulse of healing magic, which was kind of interesting. And she wants us to go off gallivanting, like half a day away to go save her village from the hobgoblins. We decided that we needed to rest first, and that's where we're at right now. Go ahead, Marisol.
Yeah, so we decided to do camp, and then we decided to scout, and then we found these people and just woke everybody up and went killing them instead. And then we definitely need sleep. So yeah, pretty much what he said. Adamir.
I think it's all been pretty much covered as far as my knowledge. Matter?
My door. Yeah, well, everything's been covered to much as has been said. I know Cal's gone through a couple of shields, so I'm carrying an extra shield on my back now for her. Otherwise, we'll send over to Leopold.
Yes. Yeah, we pretty much covered it. We set up camp. Ed, Marisol, and Leo decided to go scouting. Marisol and Ed found some lovely squirrels that they were looking at in depth instead of the trail. Farmhouse hobgoblins fight. Much whammo was given and received. The party worked a lot better the second fight than they did the first, so things are looking up. We lost a bunch of shields. Found a nice big hoard of loot, and yeah, now we're taking a long rest before we go and investigate the lady's village. I really do wonder if she knows how to use those weapons that she's taken. Maybe someone should ask. And over to Preacher.
Well, being the perfect automaton that I am, I will remember everything that has been forgotten so far. What are we talking about?
Anyway, the witch, when this zoomed away, she was heard cackling, "Have fun storming the castle!" Which may have been a showgasm. We don't know, or if there is an actual castle somewhere that we need to storm. Apparently, there is another group of bandits somewhere. We don't know. Apart from the village, there might be a bigger hideout somewhere. We don't know yet. So this is a thread we're working on unraveling. But yes, the lady in question was a very strange person. First a prisoner captive, then freed herself somehow using magic, and then for some reason trying to get very cozy with Eodi. Over to you.
I believe he meant over to Eodi.
Oh yeah, I was not talking and completely ignoring what was going on. Anyways, so this was a very exciting recap so far. I really liked it. We rolled in. I think that the weeb samurai, what was he, a goblin? Was pretty gnarly, I gotta say. That guy could have been much scarier. Luckily, I was there to save the day. We also had the dwarven archer bro, who was also pretty scary. And it was, all in all, I'm positive you guys rolled all of the failure dice, and you got them all out of the way, so that today we will see all of the critical successes, correct? Yeah. Let's see. Other than that, we saved the lady who did some crazy powers, which we didn't even question, which I love. We're just like, that's fine. And then she grabbed some weapons, and we are bedding down for the night to the best of my knowledge, right? And that's all I can recall. Who's left? Shog bro?
I believe, yes, that it is me. So you did decide to bed down for the night and get some proper rest. After some discussions in the group about payment, non-payment, and what you could expect to earn from this fight. It's now roughly 5 in the morning. You could expect that you'll have sunlight within the next 30 minutes or so. You have actually managed to get a night's sleep without being ambushed or attacked or in general having to deal with any sorts of bullshit. Eodi's sitting on watch, having been nominated by Mador, who went off watch because Eodi can also see in the dark. And I don't believe anybody else currently can. Well, in this case, Preacher took the first watch, having meditated while the rest were gathering gear and that sort of thing. So Eodi's sitting there getting the black bean brew going. Some nice hot coals in a fireplace that seems like Preacher and Medora built up around it, so it can't be seen from more than 15 feet away, as long as you don't get tall flames licking out. It's a pretty comfy way of starting the day, really. When the young lady comes out of the tent she's been sleeping in with Cal, and walks over to Eodi, sits down on a rock and starts making sort of a tortilla base from just wheat and water and some salt, and making some bread on hot rocks for whoever's getting up. Takes a minute or two before she looks up at Eodi. Eodi, may I ask you something?
Eodi will answer questions.
Would you say there's anything strange with my eyes?
Your eyes?
Yeah, looking at her Her eyes are still just two glowing pools of warm yellowish light.
Is this not normal for humans? Yodi pays such little attention to lesser races.
Oh, thank you, Eodi. I was starting to wonder. I've been having trouble sleeping, but every time I've opened my eyes to read a bit, Cal's been elbowing me in the ribs, asking me to turn off the light. I was worried I was getting mad, but well, it's a bright and early morning, isn't it? Wouldn't think the sun was up this early.
I do not understand what it is you do with, these powers, abilities. You are a wizard as well?
Powers? I have no powers, Eodi. I'm one of the strongest girls of my age in my village, and I'm good at dealing with the sheep, but I'm not a powerful archmage like you.
Ah, Yodi is a man of great power, this is true. However, I feel the grumpy one may have been slain if you had not interceded.
I didn't do anything. I heard the fighting, and then the hobgoblins, they tied my manacles with a simple tethering rope used for goats. I was afraid, and I just yanked it off out of the ring it was fastened to, and I ran.
Ah, yes, a humble hero like Yodi himself. I do appreciate this about you.
I mean, I'll try to fight and help you defend my village, but I'm not a trained warrior like Kalzir or you or the scary one with the dark skin. She kind of nods over towards Mador's sleeping bag. Oh, that's a stone cold killer to make any knight worry. And his eyes are so weird. The races who can see in the dark, they always scared me. You never know what they can see when us humans can't. They could come up like if the sun wasn't up, I wouldn't even be able to see the hand in front of my face. He could sneak up and do all sorts of things without me being able to defend myself.
Hold your hand up to your eyes.
You're nice.
Can you not see your hand in front of your eyes as they are?
Yes, I can see just fine now.
Yodi questions what is happening here.
If you'll excuse me, I'll take a short moment to offer a prayer to the Hearth Lord before the day starts properly. It'll only take a minute. She closes her eyes and mumbles a prayer in an unfamiliar language while staring into the fire and continuing to make bread.
I'm not questioning this at all. I'm going to continue on watch. Also, since her eyes are closed, I will in fact reach for one of these little pita things and attempt to consume.
It is tasty. Very basic compared to Iori's tastes, but it's good.
This companion is almost as useful as the four-legged one.
After a short prayer, she pours some of the bean brew over into a cup, and I'll go wake Marigold first. She seems less grumpy in the mornings than some of the others. And after that, she can wake the others who are grumpy. And then she kind of winks at Iodi before carrying the black bean brew over to Marisol and gently nudging her.
Awaken.
So there's a soft, warm hand nudging Marisol, and then she hears Iodi going, "Awaken!"
What? Oh, right. Hi. I'm up. I'll be right there.
There's black bean brew and fresh flatbread.
Ooh, this day just keeps getting better. I stretch, put on my shirt, and go sit down with the mug.
Well, Iodi's already sitting there, and you can now hear the sort of rock slide-like creaking of Preacher having come out of his trance and stretching.
Morning? Yes, definitely morning.
Good morning. Do you take black bean brew?
I'll take the smell of it. I walk over next to the fire where the brew is, still probably smelling more vividly. I don't consume much.
More for us then.
Indeed, but I can still remember the taste of some similar things.
Well, the young lady smiles over at Preacher and Marisol and like, well, it's a good thing the sun is up early. I'll go gather some berries for the big bear before we wake him. She disappears out into the still very dark night.
What is she talking about?
Not sure. There is something weird about that person.
Absolutely. Could you keep an eye on her? It's still dark.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
I literally turn to watch her. I don't know the idea of doing this discreetly, so I just watch her. And if she moves out of sight, I will follow her.
Yeah, she's over by the tree line, using her apron as a basket for picking berries.
Has she left any personal items near the fire?
Well, hard to call it a personal item as she's owned it for maybe 8 hours, but her axe is lying next to where she was sleeping.
No. That wouldn't do. All right, I just watch her for a moment then.
Yeah. Spends a couple of minutes gathering berries before walking back, depositing the berries in front of Cherrick, who starts snuffling and just devouring the different berries while she picks up the fox and places it on its back in her lap and gives it belly rubs.
Does she wear any kind of jewelry or religious symbols or something?
Yes, she is. She is wearing a just simple wooden medallion, probably carved by, well, somebody somebody who does carving, but is not a professional. If you're to guess, in the shape of the holy symbol of Geb,
Hmm.
which I will explain to you once the document opens and I can find the gods.
Following the Heart Lord is not so unusual.
Yeah, it's a simple golden fire in a bronze fireplace on a wooden disc. In this case, the gold and bronze are painted on with probably not a speck of gold or bronze in that paint. But it's what most farmers would wear for that sort of thing.
I ask her, can I watch that for a moment? Can I see that?
Oh yes, of course. Geb sent you to me to save my village. I would be remiss if I would not let you hold this medallion. And she hands the disc over to a preacher.
I take my time looking it over from all kinds of sides, and I attune myself slightly to the medallion, seeing if there's some kind of resonance on it. I want to see if this is the original owner of this medallion or something connected to that person. So, occultism and resonance. Psychometric resonance.
Ah, yes, you do actually have them. Interesting. Yeah, you're fairly confident she's had this for most of her life. Reading the psychometric resonance, there's something, some sort of power repressed in there. However, whoever made this creature is fairly certain was not entirely of this world.
Okay.
There's a resonance of well, it's hard for Preacher to put his hand on, but he has found religion after reawakening from his long slumber, and maybe this would be the sort of spark of divine or divinity that he's heard described but never really experienced himself in any big way.
In that case, Pitcher stands for quite a while, and probably until somebody tells him that you might want to hand that back, because I will be pondering this slowly.
Yeah, she seems entranced, staring at Modor, doing his weapon exercises with the Gizarm.
Zara's gonna sit down next to her in a clatter of holy symbols and trinkets, and start eating a raw onion and be like, kind of handsome, ain't he?
Yeah, she looks at Sarah and like, good morning. There's black bean brew and bread. My uncle also eats his onions like that.
They're good for you. Build strong muscles.
He says it's good for the teeth, but it gives him terrible breath. And then she kind of flusters a bit. Not that I'm saying you have terrible breath.
You're also dodging the question.
Question?
Kind of handsome, ain't he? And she nudges and like tilts her head over at Mador where he's doing his exercises.
Well, if you're into tall, dark, and scary. But yeah, I guess maybe. And then she kind of flushes and stares at the tips of her boots for a moment.
Ed's gonna get up and go over to the little pond and just like splash in it, take a bath.
Yep. Doesn't take long before Charek joins in the play. There's a small tidal wave moving across that pond as the young bear just and just kind of bombs into it. Of course, inspiring Roran to start chasing him around.
Oh, here we go.
And before he knows it, Ed's dodging wolves and bears and tidal waves. The young girl takes a deep breath and straightens her back and like looks over at Eodi and like, I know the odds aren't great that we can save many, but I hope we can at least save some of my village if we go early. They were holding everybody in the village center next to the smithy and
Well, we should start packing up then, and we can go at the first flight.
I snap out of it and hand the amulet back to the girl and turn it to Marisol and kind of nods over to the big pack pile and say, "Would you like to help me pack, Marisol?"
Sure. I'm eating. I'm grabbing another piece of bread and walking over to help preacher.
Marisol, there is something of the otherworldly nature about this person. That amulet had definitely had a touch of something from a different plane. Would maybe even hint go as far as saying divine.
Is that not normal?
Well, most amulets are made by, say, like a local craftsman or a priest. Perhaps not always imbued with a touch of the god behind it. I don't know if she's been touched and this is just a transfer of that, but it's definitely something she's had for a long time, and it's there's a trace of something on it that is a little bit more than usual for amulets.
I can't see a problem with that. Where I'm from, that's perfectly normal.
Well, not a problem, but unusual. It's definitely more than is usual on an amulet.
If you say so. If it's for Geb, I can't see any problem with it at all anyway. Geb is a good god.
Yeah, I can't determine that though. I just had a feeling of a stronger force than would be a cleric or something.
I'm grown up with that. Sure.
Okay.
We'll keep our eyes open, I guess, when we get to the village. She doesn't seem like she's been much other places.
No, and I don't think so either. We continue packing.
Whose is this? Holding up something that's covered in mud.
Hey,
I think it's a boot. Putting it to the side.
I make sure I have a good track on the two burlap sacks with heads.
Yeah, those should be over there and not with the other packages. That smell's gonna get into everything. Trust me on this
Yep.
one.
It already has.
Ugh.
Also, we secure the extra shields.
I have more than enough with carrying all these weapons. I'm trying to place the blunderbuss somewhere that's not in the way, failing.
Strap the extra shields to the bear. It'll be fine.
I think we should wait for Leopold if we're gonna do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leo's woken up by Cherik walking into the tent and snuffling about, and then properly shaking the water off.
Was? That? Oh, it is you, my friend. Have you been playing in the water? I hope you at least had fun. What time is it? He looks out at the tent, up at the sky.
Yeah, the first sliver of sun is just about coming up over the horizon.
I see we are making an early start. Very well. Is there any black bean brew, my friend? There is? Very good. Thank you. Do you think you could help with the extra shields? Maybe carry 2? Would that be okay? Good. Go and see Preacher and try and get him to understand to strap some to you. I will see you in a minute. Yeah? Would you like some sausage or something?
He stamps his forelegs happily, kind of tippy tapping when you mention sausage.
Leo quickly sneaks it off a garlic sausage and slices it in 2 and tosses it to him. Here you go.
Yep, he scarfs it down before picking up a shield in his mouth and running over to Preacher, kind of placing it at his legs, sitting down and looking at him expectantly.
Okay. You want this on you? Okay. We try and jerry rig some kind of carry harness quick release.
Right.
Edamir's also gonna go up to Roran, tell him to go play for a while, and then call out for Lyrian, and holds out his arm, and this vulture comes down and lands on his arm. There you are, buddy. Think you'll be with me today.
Birds?
Not food.
This bird smells terrible.
He didn't mean that. He smells terrible.
Yes, he does smell terrible. You are correct, fox friend.
I
Don't
thought
mind
I
him.
was joining a group of adventurers, not a zoo. I'm walking out to pet my horse.
Well, sometimes you are lucky and you get both. Guten Morgen, Marisol.
Good morning. There's fresh bread and black bean brew over there.
Ah, das ist gut. Danke.
Has anyone seen the grumpy one this morning?
Hey, I go over and poke the tent. Wake up.
Who are you waking up?
I'm going for Cal.
Ah, yeah. Going to Cal's tent, there's just a short handwritten note that she's gone scouting the village because the rest of you are taking such a long nap.
Right, so we're not just saving the village then. I'm throwing it to my door.
What are you throwing at me while I'm training?
Yeah, I'm throwing you a note and walking and shrugging and walking over to my horse.
That sounds like her.
Well, at least she left a note to let us know where she had gone.
And in
Consider
common,
it.
no less.
Has the grumpy one decided to retire from adventuring?
No, she decided to go scout out the village because we were too slow.
I see.
I'm gonna put my stuff on the horse and walk him over to the entrance. Your chariot awaits, my lord.
Ah, yes. A good ride for a good champion, yes? And I will climb up onto the horse.
Ma'am, what's your name? I don't think I did catch that yesterday.
I'm Albertine.
Albertine, would you like to ride as well with Yodi?
I can walk the horse next to Yodi.
Sure. I hand her the reins and walk and get my other stuff.
She looks up at Yodi when Marisol's left, like, she's also kind of scary.
There is nothing to be afraid of that one. She is a true hero like Yodi.
I believe you. Okay. Well, let's get going then, I guess.
Yes, it will take these some time to gather up. I will wait them.
Well, here's everything ready, so unless everyone else has something more they need to do, then we're good to go.
Leo's just breaking down his old longbow into two pieces and tucking it in his pack, and walking over with his new composite longbow. Yeah, we're all packed. Is everyone ready?
Ready?
Oh yes. Preacher is hoisting the largest backpack ever, I think. I don't know if you've noticed, but there is quite a lot of loot we have gathered up so far.
Yep. You can see the soles of Preacher's feet are pushed maybe 1.5, 2 inches down into the soft ground, but he doesn't seem to be bothered by it. He is leaving some gnarly tracks, though.
Well, we're too big a group to bother with hiding our tracks anyway.
So she leads you up to Conti, or towards the village of Conti. It's roughly a 3-hour travel at a good pace, where you can expect to be rested enough to fight when you arrive, but not wasting any time. And coming in on the outskirts of Conti, it's in a small valley. You can see that, as with most of the smaller, not a township, not a village, barely a cluster of farms within half an hour's walking distance of each other. From what you can see, and you don't have fantastic lines of sight, this is another of those wooded settlements. A lot of the houses here have broken down doors, smashed windows. signs of farmers having defended themselves. Spatters of blood here and there. Broken pitchforks and woodsman's axes. Some of the houses seem to have been burned down, but that is maybe 1 in 10. Keeping up towards the village center, I would like a stealth roll from Preacher, Edamir, and Leopold.
No.
So you feel like you're pretty pretty stealthy, sneaking up towards the smithy and the outlying area. Obviously, the oldest buildings in the township, as they're the only buildings made out of rock. Most everything else has wooden walls and roofs. These are actually brick. And from what you can see, there's a very small shrine, probably to Geb. From the way it's built, though you can't see the symbol on the front from where you're at. And a pond in front of it where you can see 2 hobgoblins. Not dressed in the samurai type gear you often or you fought yesterday, but just in scavenged gear of if you're hazarding a guess, Friedrichstadt make. Standing watch with short bows and long swords and other things. There's a much larger hobgoblin, also much much more scary looking, with a seriously well made longbow. It's giving them orders. Seems like they're on pretty high alert, but they're almost all of their attention seems to be going towards the southeast. And looking down towards one of the corners on another stone building to the south, you see a familiar armor. And probably, you're fairly certain you also know the person inside that armor, standing at attention, kind of nodding but not saying anything to this hobgoblin leader as he gives orders. And as soon as the rest of the hobgoblins have gone to their posts, somewhat sticking out like a sore thumb, but getting away with it somehow. Figure of Cal sneaks into the house that she was put in place to guard out front. Let me see. I would like from at least from Marisol. Yeah, from Marisol actually only a perception check.
$17.
You're guessing that these hobgoblins aren't on edge for nothing. Several of them have wounds that don't look like they were made by pitchforks. They look like they were made by something big, heavy, and sharp, wielded by somebody who knew what they were doing. And more to the point, down to the east of the cornfields, for a moment, you see movement in the bushes and a flash of steel. Or maybe iron.
I gesture to the others, the direction it's coming from.
I believe you're the only one with proper line of sight to that sector, so to speak.
Doesn't stop me from telling them there's something down there, even if they can't see it.
True.
Since I'm hidden behind a little log, I'm gonna turn back into my humanoid fox form.
Yes. Seems like the hobgoblins are definitely on high alert for something. It's just not you. Let me roll a little check here.
Worth mentioning, I have discarded my backpack.
Very wise.
Right. One of the hobgoblin guards actually moves up, and or two of them move up and taking up positions with their bows, still looking to the south. And out in front of them, another one comes into view. Let me see here. I gotta. This one dressed in a bit shoddier gear than the armor Calicier looted off of the hobgoblin warrior last night, but in the same style. Also carrying the two swords sheathed in his belt, in addition to a longbow. Also, with focus on the south. After another 30 seconds or so, see a large, heavily muscled, and very close to naked, except for some weapon harnesses and a loincloth, orc lady carrying a very large axe come out onto the road, point her fingers up at one of the hobgoblins, or you assume it's a hobgoblin. It's somebody behind the house you can't see, and shout in Orcish. She seems, from what you can see from range, like she's seen a lot of fighting, heavily scarred, with sort of a skull-like mask of ash or something light grayish painted over her face, making her look even more fierce than she obviously already is.
Zara would like to sneak up to the side of this building over here.
Right. Give us a stealth roll, please. Sneaking up on her way, she can see 3 more of those hobgoblins in the foreign armor with the foreign gear, hiding in the bushes, ready to go when it's go time. The armor is of an unfamiliar both form and design, but at a rough estimate, it's probably the equivalent of chain or scale mail.
Can Zara see inside this little church?
She can. Looking through the window into the church, you can see there are 8 humans sitting up against the wall in manacles, both on their hands and feet, and with a steel necklace. So I'm certain there's an English word for it, but it's not my first language. Around their neck and a chain connecting them.
Is there a green skin in the building with him?
Not that she can see, although she did see one of the hobgoblins posted at the door. Its attention also firmly fixed towards the south.
She's going to make a copy of herself inside the building.
Right. So,
And as she forms, she's going to, do the finger over the lips, like be quiet.
there we go. a bit of work getting her in there, but we managed to make it happen. Yeah.
And then her duplicate outside the building crumbles to dust.
They look up. One of the young ones is about to cry out when an elderly man in a fairly muscled fellow, maybe in his 60s, the sort of build you get being a farmer your entire life, with shaved head and long white beard, kind of first clamps his hand over the youngling's mouth and then kind of beckons to Sarah to come closer.
Zara's going to head over there and pull out her thief's kit and start working on the shackles.
Yeah. Again, easy enough to open. Made mostly for for keeping people who don't have a key or a thieves' kit kept prisoner. And he leans over to Zara while she's working and whispers in her ear, like, "God be praised that you came when you did. I've been listening in on their conversation outside the door. There's a warband of orc death cultists demanding that they give all their prisoners to them."
Abertine sent us. Perhaps we can slip away if things escalate. And Zara's going to work on unlocking all the shackles. And she's going to give her battle axe, her katana, and her wakizashi out to the 3 most fit men.
Yeah.
Or fighter types.
The elderly man grabs the axe and hefts it with the experienced ease of somebody who's used a battle axe for years and years. He looks at Zara like, most of us are pretty beat up. I don't think we can put up much of a fight, but I'll watch your back if Geb decides that we're to be tested this day.
Best bet is to wait here until things escalate outside and then try to slip to the north.
Very well. Let's just hope it escalates and they don't come to an agreement, or they'll have twice the numbers. He moves up to the pulpit, takes out a small key, and then with a very stiff gait, limping a bit on his left foot, moves over and unlocks one of the windows, or the window that Zara looked in through. What are the rest of you doing?
Preacher is observing very keenly what the heck is going on south. Obviously, they're not expecting us to attack them, so I'm sitting still until something happens otherwise. Very curious about that hostile stance they have to the south.
I am following where I saw the flash of steel or iron in the bushes and waiting for a signal that we're going to do anything more.
Got it.
Adamir's waiting also. Send his bird over to the pond to drink out of and maybe cause a distraction if needed.
Leo's got his bow ready, locked on one of the apprentice running, and getting ready in case Zara gets the captives out.
And I will do the true hero leaders thing, and I will find a place to hide the horse.
Very well. So, you can now hear sort of a conversation. It's still aggressive, but not as aggressive, flowing between the orc female and the hobgoblin. Seems to be their commander. When one of the hobgoblins walks out onto the road, points at the orc, and in well, you didn't know that Cal spoke orc. From the way she stutters the pronunciations, she probably doesn't. But there is no way to mistake the two-finger salute she is giving the orc leader while she's giving off her stuttering orcish phrase. And moments later, you hear a roar as more orcs burst out of the bushes and start charging up towards the hobgoblins, and the hobgoblins return fire. And this little lady here with very high speed charges up towards Cal. And you can hear the oof as she is smacked with a very large club. Meanwhile, you hear three twangs from out in the dark, and one of the orcs charging up goes down with a couple of arrows sticking out of his chest, taking us to Edamir.
Adamir's just gonna wait for now.
Okay, if you want to delay, you need to give me an activation action, something that'll make Edamir take his turn.
If he sees the orc outside of, actually, you can't see that from his position. I'm gonna move. And he'll just wait there.
Got it. Right, another orc moves out onto the road. Points his hand up towards one of the charging hobgoblins on the eastern flank and speaks in a weird ass language. And 3 missiles pop out and hit him in the face, killing him. Look like little flowing skeletal birds. And that takes us to Zara.
Are all of the people in here unshackled?
They are. You've had a couple of minutes to work.
Zara's going to move here, untie her sling from around her waist, and load it with a stone.
Got it. Taking us to Marisol.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna sneak up to the bush that's behind this guy here.
Okay, just move your token so I can click OK on that. There we are.
Does he notice me?
It does. Give me a stealth check. He does
25?
not notice you. He has not noticed you at all. He has no idea you're there.
Can I hold my attack till he's doing anything, or do I just have to go for it now that I've done part of my turn?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Can I hold my attack until he acts on anything, or do I have to take it now since I started my turn?
You can hold your attack until he acts.
Okay, then I'll do that.
That's a trigger, so that works as a saying you want to wait.
Yeah, then the moment he does anything, I will attack him.
Right. From down where Cal is, you can hear her shout, "Your mother thinks gnomes are masculine!" Before swinging her axe at the orc fighting her. Damn. And actually tagging her real good in the neck on the first swing. But missing on the second and then raising her shield. Mein Herr Leopold.
Yeah. Leopold is going to hunt prey on Hobgoblin Apprentice Running, the one on the left-hand side of the pond.
Yes.
And then he's going to cast a gravity weapon. And can I hold my last action against the trigger?
What are you holding your action for?
The apprentice moving.
Okay, I'll eat that. Right, out from behind Callus here, a short, maybe 4.5-foot blue-haired gnome comes sprinting and like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, I told you to provoke them, not get into a fight! And then he sprints past Callus here and up into the bushes where he smacks straight into Albertine. Albertine, you're here! Your eyes are weird! Do you have coffee? They stole my projects! My truffle finding-inator! And that takes us to Mr. Mador.
All right. I'm going to move toward Preacher. And
Gotcha.
take a stance.
Right, so you're readying in case anybody comes to within whacking range.
Correct.
Yes, that's what I assumed. Speaking of Preacher, it is his turn.
Oh boy. Well, stands up, stoked flame. Things are escalating quite quickly. We need to help Kilazir. So, question is, do I go for the hobgoblin on the other side of the road, or do I just go for the one on the road? No. Okay. Here goes. Hello. Smack to the back.
Stomp, stomp, stomp.
Well,
Suddenly,
I try
Preacher
and do a
comes-
little bit stealthily so I can surprise him. But yeah.
Yeah, okay, give us a stealth roll. It's going to be a difficult one because now they know they're being attacked from the back. Well, actually,
Well,
they don't, but that's still a terrible stealth roll.
Yeah.
Sprinting up, Mador is stealthy up until the point where he finds a tin bucket full of horseshoes that he kicks over. And the hobgoblin definitely knows he's coming.
Well, still gonna smack him.
Did I say Mador? I meant Preacher. Oh well.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did. Are you Flurry of Blowsing?
Yes, I am.
Or are you in a stance?
I am in a stance. Stoked claim.
Copy that.
That's why I couldn't do the 30-yard sprint.
Shiny.
But yes, let's go for combat. And let's see now. All right, so he's going to be hit with double sparking embers.
At least we hope so.
The one
Well,
time.
that is one hit. So give me some damage, sir.
6.
6. Yeah, you smack him pretty good, but he's in metal armor and manages to kind of just lean his head forward. So instead of getting a clean hit straight into the flesh and bone of the face, you smack him in the forehead of the helmet. Still rings his bell pretty well.
I think I still have a powerful fist attack.
You are correct, but it counts as your third attack, having flurried.
Yep.
That is still a hit, sir. He does not have his shield up. Smacks him again, and yeah, he's now he's bleeding from his nose. Spits out a broken tooth. Not in fantastic mood for sure. He is not having a grand old time. And he was also standing with his bow up, so drops his bow to the ground, pulls out his longsword in the shield, raises his shield, and then he swings his sword at Mador and manages to hit him, getting a good hit in for 10 damage.
Check your AC. It is Preacher you're fighting.
Yeah, Preacher. I mean, you're Captain Balbonti in this case, or or Bounty Cat. You know how I work when I get flustered. So yeah, he manages to hit Preacher and chip off some flakes from his chest.
Damn it! Just got repaired.
The hobgoblin guarding moves in, seeing that the prisoners are escaping. Turns and shouts to the other hobgoblins, and then draws his sword and raises his shield towards Zara. And then you hear a powerful scream as you see an orc sprinting out of the bushes and up towards the hobgoblins. This is probably not one of those one of those very experienced or clever orcs. The gear is pretty terrible, and the combat discipline seems to leave something to be desired. But it is still big, muscled, and you think it's frothing at the mouth.
Berserk Orc. Great.
Yeah, there's another scream as another one further to the south sprints up to engage the hobgoblins. Where in the world are you not actually placed here? There we are. And one sprints up and starts flanking Cal. Give us a moment. I remembered just now, Cal's a fighter. Oh boy, okay. Sprints up to start flanking Cal, but heading past her, she kicks it in the knees, so it goes down on one knee and then beheads it. Why were you tied as friendly? That ain't right. Right, that's what's been happening here. Okay. The hobgoblin that Marisol is aiming at starts moving.
I shoot him in the head from behind.
Very well. That is a hit. He has no idea you're there. Now, though, pretty much everybody knows where you are. That's that gunpowder weapon makes a heck of a noise.
Morning.
Guten Tag. Yeah, he starts moving down toward to support Cal against the orc, and then gets shot in the back of the head, pings off of the thick metal helmet. So he does a 180, shouts an alarm, and moves up to Marisol and raises his shield. And that takes us to Eodi.
Yes. There are way too many bad guys on the screen. Eodi is going to saunter up here to Mador and kind of hide behind him a little bit. And then he will mutter a few words under his breath and point a finger at the hobgoblin who is attacking Marisol, and I will hit him with the Ray of Frost.
That is a hit, good sir. And he gets a serious case of frostbite on one of his thighs as Eodi hits him there.
Pew! And that will be my turn.
Yeah. As he shouts out his warning, you can hear from one of the hobgoblins like "Nani?" And then he's gonna move up. Whoop. To support his bro there, spot Modor, and he's gonna take a shot at him with his longbow. Which Modor actually just smacks out of the air with his arm. This bro here is gonna move down, try to vault that fence. There's your acrobatics. It's a very easy check, and he makes it, so he gets up behind a preacher and then draws his weapons. It's the long curved sword and the shorter curved sword.
And that was Leo's trigger.
Yep, so Leo gets to take a shot there.
Leo goes hunted shot.
Oh. Yeah, let me just check armor class here. He is moving, so that is a hit.
Yep, second one misses. Okay. Okay, he has gravity weapon operating, so this roll, whatever it is, will be doubled.
Yeah, it's something.
Yeah.
The arrow hits him in the shoulder, but you sort of scale mail like armor stops enough that it only penetrates an inch or two through the armor. Painful, but hardly debilitating.
Leo swears something that sounds extremely complicated and garbled, and loads another arrow ready.
And the last one runs in behind the enemy and fighting Cal, and he's shouting some sort of orders to her. Could be that Cal knows Hobgoblin. You don't know her that well, but she doesn't seem to be responding to them. From down south, you can hear Albertine going like, Enzo, get a hold of yourself. Where's my family? You need to run. You need to get cover. That takes us all the way around. The lady fighting Cal is gonna try to smack her again. This time Cal defends herself with her shield. And then she throws her club at the Hobgoblin apprentice out on the road, hurling it hand over hand. Now she's getting angry, and you can see her actually growing larger as steam from the morning mist is rising from her body. The club flies up, smacks the Hobgoblin, and then returns to her hand. This bro here gonna move to there. The Hobgoblin commander seems like he's decided that the larger threats from the west. Sprinting over. There's another burst of flame to the southeast, and you hear another hobgoblin scream as it's immolated where it stands, and then it's Edamir's turn.
All right. Edamir is going to move up right there,
Gotcha.
passing Yodi, and he's gonna be like, "Don't worry, little Yodi, we'll be fine. I got you." And I'm going to send the command to Lyrian to move and attack the guy that's shooting arrows up here.
Got it. So Lyrian now has 2 attacks.
No, he
Swooping-
only has one.
Ah, I thought they got 2 attacks from the, or they get 2 actions, of course.
Yep.
Yeah, Lyrian flies in, and that guy's got his bow up, not his shield, so he actually manages to hit him.
I forgot to put the damage in for him. It's 1d8 plus 2.
Mhm.
So 6 damage.
Damn. What kind of jaws is on that vulture? Jaws of life? Right. Yeah, he flies up to that hobgob Ronin and takes a good old chunk out of his cheek. He is most definitely distracted by the large friggin' bird trying to eat his face.
And that'll be it.
Right. You see another large orc wielding a very large battle axe of the orcish style, sneaking up through the weeds. Doesn't look like Cal's noticed him yet, but he's definitely got his eyes set for her back. Speaking of eyes and backs, it's Sarah's turn.
Excellent. Zara's going to pull her gaff out of her belt and drop the sling on the ground. And then we're going to do some esoteric lore on this hobgoblin in front of me.
Got it. Clear success. You are noticing actually that he's fighting at a disadvantage. It's too bright for him. Does not look like he enjoys being out in sunlight.
Excellent, excellent. And I assume he has no natural weaknesses, so I will
Nope.
give him a personal one.
Yep, being stabbed in the fleshy bits. Same natural weakness as most living things.
Swing at him with the gaff, 17.
17. And what kind of bonus were you getting from your esoteric lore
It's
thingamajig?
bonus damage.
Oh,
It's
it's
on the
bonus
other side.
damage. Yeah, he just manages to get his shield up in time to block the gaff.
And that'll be my turn.
That's that. That takes us to Marzal.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a 5-foot step straight behind me.
Gotcha.
And then I'll attack this dude in front of me.
Right. With what?
First whip,
Ah, there we are. That is a hit.
then I'll try to trip him.
Go for it, ma'am. Oh yeah, he goes ass over tea kettle to the ground.
And then I'm shooting his head again.
Gotcha. He is also now prone and a lot easier to hit.
-5 because I pushed the wrong one.
That's fine. That's still a hit with him being prone on his ass. See.
I'm assuming he has armor, so my whip does nothing except wrap around his leg.
That is correct. They are running around in hide armor.
More than enough.
Yeah. Yep. You can hear Cal shouting, like, "You have the beard of a halfling teenager!" Before swinging her axe again at the orc she's fighting. Hitting her twice and cutting some pretty deep wounds into her chest and shoulders, but she does seem like she's actually slowed down too much by the wounds. Before Cal raises her shield again. That takes us to Mr. Leopold.
Okay. Does Leo get any flat foot bonus for the guy he's shooting being facing Preacher?
Nope, but he does get a chance of hitting Preacher if he rolls 10 below what he needs to get a hit.
Always nice to know.
No.
Like that?
Very close. But
No cigar. Good.
Preacher dodges just at the right moment and is not hit in the back of the head by the arrow. That, however, is a hit.
Okay. Let's roll for this. That's his weapon damage. Plus that, plus 2. So that makes, 10 off that shot.
A good solid 10. Yeah, this guy's he's not in great shape right now. He's taken he's bleeding pretty heftily from his back suddenly, where an arrow is sprouted from his lower back.
Okay, and Leo gives his last action to Cherek. So Cherek is going to move in front of the hobgoblin by the side of the church.
Tricks,
And then when I can get his character sheet to come up. There we go. He's going to take a bite at him.
holy critical.
Nice.
Yeah.
Woof. There we go. That's 14 to Cherek on the poor hobgoblin in the corner of the church there.
Yeah, he's reeling back from that bite and obviously shouting for help from somebody else, but his buddy behind him is busy getting his face eaten by a vulture. Right. The halfling is moving up now next to Marisol, tugging at her coat. Like, they stole all of my research, my shield repairing nator. You need to get it back.
Working on it, little man. Go hide.
But you don't understand. This could be my ticket to the academy. And then, well, he spends another action tugging at Marisol's coat. And that takes us to Modor.
Hey. I'm going to Preacher's Aid.
Got it. Yeah. Are you
Stop,
planning
like-
on moving?
No, I'm not moving Jason. I'm going to move it just where it's my reach.
Yep, that would be there. I assume this much. That's what I was asking. Oh, and he is flanked. That is a critical. Oof. Yeah, Modor just moves down with the Gisarm, and after a good swing, he just takes his head clean off.
Okay. I didn't expect that. Nice last move.
Moving up there. Oh, nice. Yep. That'll give Cherik flanking as well. That takes us to Mr. Preacher.
Well, slightly distracted by the whoosh and the head somersaulting overhead.
Yep.
I turn my full attention to the guy in front of me and give him a 1-2 uppercuts to begin with. Whoa, critical fail.
Whoop. Okay.
Will that
The second one
spoil
is
the second one?
the first one's a hit. On the second one, Preacher hooks his arm with the left hook under the fence, which is surprisingly sturdily built. So he pulls himself to the ground and is now prone. But you do get damage for the first one. Oh yeah, and this guy, he's straight up not having a good time, having taken some damage already. And Preacher now just you can hear the snap and crack as his neck just breaks from the blow. And Preacher has 2 more actions, I believe.
Okay, I attempt to get up stylishly.
Yep, as a DC 10 athletics or acrobatics to just kickflip up and not use an action for it.
Yep, I'll be doing acrobatics.
Yep.
What's this guy Hobgoblin Apprentice Ronin 2 that's still standing in the road?
He looks like he's getting his bow up now and planning on shooting either a Preacher or a Marisol or the gnome shouting about his somewhat innate or.
Can I do a 5-foot step and then attack him, or is that too much?
5-foot step would be an action in itself.
Right. In that case, I adjust to there instead.
Got it.
Just threaten him up close.
Yep. Gotcha. Okay, so and currently 2 hobgoblins, none of them really enjoying life very much. Coming up, one of them is going to swing his longsword at Sarah, pulls it back for a powerful strike, gets it stuck in the doorframe, spends a second or two kind of wiggling it out, and then raises his shield. And the other one's going to actually takes a quick look at what looks more dangerous here. Moves up behind Preacher. It's going to try to smack him in the back. Preacher is not born yesterday, though, so there's a swoosh sound as he just ducks. When the hobgoblin tries to take his head off, and then it raises his shield. And you hear roaring again as another of the orcs runs into something flammable, but the one behind Cal smacks with its knuckle dagger at her. You can see the blades gliding off of Cal's fancy new armor, and then it being an orc, of course, and having no real sense of threat, it tries to do it again and fails again, sliding off of Cal's armor for the second time, taking us to Iodi.
Okay. Well then, as the enemies are thinning out a bit, Iodi is going to move himself in here, and he just kind of looks over at the gnome and he says, "What is this one's problem? He's smelly, huh?" And I will shoot at the goblin that's stabbing Preacher. I am going to... Let's see. I will kind of wave my hand a little bit in the air, and then I'm going to throw an acid splash at him. $22.
That is a hit, good sir.
For 4 damage.
Yeah, this hobgoblin's been having a real rough time at work. As he turns, you can hear the magical mumbling of Iodi, and turns to shout something in Hobgoblin that probably would sound a lot like "There's a mage here, focus on killing him first." Iodi just drops the acid splash straight into his mouth, and you can see kind of his neck giving way from the acid, and then his head and helmet kind of just collapses down onto his shoulders, and he falls over. Taking us to these bros. First, the one fighting Preacher. He is going to try a double slice with his katana and wakizashi.
So he dropped his bow?
Yeah. One thing you're noticing with these people is they draw their weapons ridiculously fast. Almost as if it's something they trained for doing.
Mm.
And he does manage to hit Preacher with both of those weapons for a total of 12 damage. Let's see. This bro down here, who moved in to help Cal, is gonna double slice at the orc fighting Cal. Which he manages to do. You can see blood spurting, but again, the orc obviously in a berserk rage. Just one is that she manages to move so that nothing important is getting cut, but she's just not slowing down, even though she must be in a tremendous amount of pain by now. And the hobgoblin here is gonna try a double slice at Larian, because he is not a big fan of getting his face eaten. And misses, panicking and attacking again. With the katana, swinging it with great force, and actually missing Larian, swinging it into one of the brick walls of the building, and the weapon bends. Albertine sees the threat heading to Cal. You can hear her shouting, "Cal is here, look out!" before she rushes down to slow the large muscled orc with the battle axe heading up towards her back. And this hobgoblin lady, or this orc lady, she getting mad. She is now about the size of an ogre, roughly 3 meters tall. That would be about three and a half fridges in American units. So. Who turns around and with a brutal swing of her club just takes the head straight off of the hobgoblin that came up behind her and slashed her. Whoop, wrong hobgoblin. No, right hobgoblin. And then she's gonna turn and try to hit Kalazir again. And Kalazir blocks the blow from the club, and the orc lunges forward. And you can see Kalazir get her shield up in time for the orc to smash her head straight through Cal's shield and bite her in the shoulder, leaving the shield broken and dangling from her arm. Is this bro here? Is it not? It is. The hobgoblin is going to He is in a shit position, I realize. But he's not aware of it, so he's going to take a move, giving Mador an attack of opportunity with flanking. That is a hit, sir. And Mador smacks him with the Gizarm, but this guy's wearing a much better steel armor than or metal armor than the others, and he survives the smack. Moves over and gets line of sight onto Leopold, and raises his crossbow and takes a shot at Leopold. Puts one straight into Leopold's chest plate for 8 damage. And then he reloads his crossbow. Oh, wait a minute. What's this? He may actually be doing a bit more damage. Let me double check this. That did not actually get into the... so not 8 damage, but a total of 10 damage to Leopold.
Noted. Und ow?
The orc fighting Albertine shouts triumphantly when it sees her. And then with a mighty swing of its axe, just sunders the head off of her battle axe, leaving her just holding a stick. Before giving her a solid punch in the mouth, and you can see her staggering back, obviously dazed. Edamir.
Edamir is going to mutter a little incantation and cast Produce Flame on the goblin that went behind him.
That is a hit.
For 7 fire damage.
Yeah, that hobgoblin does not seem like he's in a great mood right now.
And then
He's in some serious pain.
Gonna command Lyrian to continue the assault.
Yes, you
and
can.
attack.
Now Lyrian should have 2 actions to be attacking. First one's a clean miss. Kind of just beaks him in the helmet. Second one, however, is a hit.
Ugh.
Jesus. Okay, this poor hobgoblin that's been fighting Lyrian gets his throat torn out by the surprisingly large and in charge vulture.
Yeah, that'll be it.
Right. This guy's gonna move here. Tall, gangly orc compared to the other ones. Still muscular by human standards, but obviously not as brawny as the other two. Oh, hello. Well then. And he give me a moment, because I gotta add something here that I had not actually planned on. That I had not actually planned for. Wrong. And the hobgoblin behind the preacher that was dead gets up again. With a moaning sound. Grains. And then which takes us to Zara.
Excellent. Zara's going to make a duplicate of herself right here.
Gotcha. Son of a... Doorways and movement in this game are not friends. That is a hit, sir. Yeah, Zara just smacks that gaff.
It's got an extra +3 on that as well.
Oh, 14 total. Smacks that gaff straight into the face of the hobgoblin, instantly killing it. Leaving the way open for the rest of the prisoners to just run like the wind. Try to get away from the slavers. Up behind Zara, as she's moving here, the old man that she was talking to shouts at her, "I don't know what's happening out there, but I heard somebody shout that they found the sacrifice."
Run to the northwest, past us.
Yep, you can see him standing rear guard while the rest of the civilians are running away. Marzal, it's your turn.
So, I see this orc and the stupid girl that walked, that ran straight up to him. So I'm gonna do something really stupid.
Very well.
I'm gonna use my whole move and just shove her out of the way so that I'm standing in front of the orc instead of her.
Right. Give us an athletics check. It's a DC 10 because she's dazed and unsteady on her feet. Yep. So Marzal just moves down and shoves Albertine to the rear. Takes us to Cal.
Hi.
Cal again shouting, "I bet orcs drink their black bean brew with milk and sugar." That's swinging her war axe at this huge orc berserker in front of her. First blow is easily blocked. So is the second. Then Cal tears off the broken shield from her arm and places 2 hands on her dwarven war axe. Leopold. Zavu.
Yeah. Well, Leo is going to drop his bow and draw his rapier. And then he's going to move up alongside this hobgoblin.
Gotcha.
And then let us see what this does.
That is a hit, sir. Ooh.
+1 on there as well.
So that is another 8 damage. Yeah, Leopold manages to stick him pretty good with that rapier. Getting through the armor, but the armor again enough to kind of slow the stab enough that while he stabs him in the stomach, he doesn't actually get into any organs.
Drat. And I think that's my 3 actions, or is it? Draw, move, attack. Yep.
Right. So the gnome moves up in front of Iodi and like, "Sir, you seem like a man of culture. You must understand. They took my research, my books, my black powder reserves, even the goop. You must do something about this, I entreat you, as one gentleman to another." And then out from inside his little coat that's made mostly of pockets, it seems, he fishes out a little brass case, opens it up to Iodi, and like, "Would you like a cigar, sir?" And that takes us to Modor.
All right, the boys. Okay, let's see. Gonna use 2 moves and get down there, and on the last one, do like a overhand swing as I'm charging.
Gotcha. That is a critical, sir. Very well. Matador gets a real good swing of the Gizarm, getting the now very large, ogre-sized orc in the side, and this time she actually utters a grunt of pain. Seems displeased with the state of affairs. Huh. Impressive. The zombie is going to punch at Preacher twice, but being slow and having no martial arts training, Preacher easily dodges both blows. And it's Preacher's turn.
Well, I mean, the guy in front of me, the hobgoblin, how wounded is he? Have we
Seems-
actually hit him?
Seems somewhat unwounded.
All right, full focus on him then. He's gonna get it. 4 elbows, sparking embers. Going once. Going twice.
Oh!
That's
That is 1 hit and
significant.
1 critical.
Regular one. The critical. This is the first time critical for sparking embers. I do not have the flashing sparks. So it's only a regular critical. What is that exactly?
Hold shift when you roll damage. And it does it for you.
Nice. 18 on the second.
Yeah, what a 1-inch punch that would make Bruce Lee jealous. Preacher just caves in the entire chest cavity of that hobgoblin, and it's dead before he even realizes it's been hit.
Sweet. And I finish off with a powerful fist on the zombie.
Go for it, sir.
Eh.
Nope. The zombie mimicking Preacher's earlier block actually blocks Preacher's blow, to probably the great surprise of both.
Good
And that
save.
takes us to the Sheep Eater himself, Yodi.
Yes. Yodi looks at the gnome who's like waving a cigar in his face, and he kind of straightens his back a little bit, and he goes, "It is not time for celebration. This is hero work." And he points towards where Marisol's at. And I will creep forward to here. And then I am going to cast Magic Missile with a little tap of my fingers towards the orc that Kalazir is fighting.
Gotcha.
It's only a 1 action, though. So 2 damage.
Hey, damage is damage. All adds up in the end. Albertine, obviously shocked at Mador shouting in a weird-ass language that most people don't speak, looks like she wants to continue fighting, but well, she's a young girl of 16, and the scary man is shouting something at her, so she falls up back behind Iodi. Taking us to this lady, who is now severely pissed off. Oof. Hum. Let me check somebody's hit points here for a quick. Oh yeah. With a huge heave of her club, she smashes Kalazir to the ground. So Kalazir is now on the ground and bleeding. And then she is actually gonna try to run. Mador gets himself an attack of opportunity. That is a hit, but not a critical. Okay. So she is gonna move there. The hobgoblin fighting Leopold drops its crossbow, pulls out a short sword, and quickly jabs twice at him. With it hitting 2 times for a total of 12 damage. And the gentleman standing in front of Marisol. Marisol can see he's wearing an armor that looks a lot like it's made out of well, not just human, but human skin being one part of the equation at the very least.
Yeah.
He's gonna swing that big old orc neck splitter at Marisol, and she easily dodges the first attack, but is hit by the second. Being slashed for a total of 12 damage. That takes us to Mr. Edamir.
I'm going to give Lyrian a whistle, tell him to move up here, and attack.
Right.
Oh,
Oh dear. He comes flying into attack and ends up landing on Preacher's head, looking kind of flustered. And with his tail feathers in front of Preacher's eyes, giving him a -2 on his first attack this turn.
Oops. Then I'm going to use 2 move actions to move down there.
Got it. Over to this gentleman here. Let's see, he's used that spell. There we are. Okay. Okay, so the orc points his hand out, and he is casting a ray of fire at Mador, Marisol, and Edamir. Hits Mador. Hits Edamir. And Marisol just about manages to dodge. So that is 2 fire damage to Mador and 3 fire damage to Edamir. That was somewhat underwhelming. Very well then. Zara.
Zara is going to make a 5-foot step right here. And then she's going to make a trip attack against the hob right here.
Ooh. Go for it, sir.
That's a 24 against his fortitude DC.
He goes ass over tea kettle and is now prone.
And then she's going to bludgeon him with a gaff.
That is a very clear hit. He is now bleeding like a stuck pig and obviously both injured and in a significant amount of pain. Marisol.
Yeah, I'm gonna 5-foot step away from the dude that's killing me.
Yeah, just gotta check some feats here real quick. I'll be back in a moment. Nope, actually not. Yeah, you 5-foot step away.
And whip after his feet.
Yep. Whip it good. He is prone.
And don't I need to roll an athletics to trip him, actually?
It's an athletics check instead of an attack roll.
Well, if so, it's a bit less.
How much less?
3 less.
So it's a 20.
Yeah.
Still good enough. He's still prone.
And it does progress your attack penalty by 1.
Yes.
And then Marisol shoots him. That's it.
Four damage.
4 damage. Yep. Seems like the weird skin type armor manages to absorb most of the shot. Cal stabilizes and is no longer dying. That takes us to Leopold.
Okay. The hobgoblin is prone and flanked, so whatever bonus from that. Leo's going to have a stab with the rapier.
That is a hit, sir.
Okay, and 5 damage.
Stabs him through the heart, and he dies. Blah.
There. Leo is going to move up alongside our prattling inventor friend. Actually, slightly past him. And last action is going to be to command Cherik to follow him. Stop behind the zombie hobgoblin.
Right.
There we go. Just outside 35, so yeah, that's 2.
Cherik's obviously disliking the smell coming off of that thing.
Yeah, we are not friends, visit undead.
Yep, the gnome is standing around like, won't even take a cigar. Not a single man of culture in this entire group of bandits saving my town. So, heroes, bandit heroes. I'll have to write a treatise on this. He's lighting a cigar.
We are not bandits, we are bounty hunters.
Maro's turn.
Moving there, and I'm going to swing on him.
$23. Let me check here. That is a hit, sir. And the second one's a hit as well. Total of 21. Dang. Mador is in fine form. Smacking him twice with the Gizarm. And the blood is flowing from his wounds now. This zombie is gonna smack at Cherik. Not really caring too much about mechanical man that's not made of flesh. A tasty, tasty meat. Smacks Cherik for 6 damage and tries to grab him, but is simply not strong enough to actually wrestle a bear. Taking us to Preacher.
Okay, I'm about had it with that thing, so double hit to the back. Flurry of blows, sparking embers. Go. Yeah,
Those are 2 criticals, sir.
as I said, had it with him.
Yeah, channeling his inner power, Preacher just brings the heat into powerful blows to that zombie. And for half a second, it doesn't look like any of them actually did anything, and then it falls down into a pile of ash. And now it is Eodi. No, it is still Preacher.
Yep. Turn around and I basically call out saying, "You're next." Then move over here as far as I can get towards the. How far is that actually in one action? 30?
Depends on where you want to go. That is 30, yes. That's 1 action. That still leaves you 1 action.
That is true. Can I actually reach him? I wonder. Yes, I can.
Yep, you hear Albertine go, Cal is here, no! Before she runs down, picks up Cal, and then moves both of them, whoop, dang this thing, backwards. Going, Eodi, you need to heal her. She's injured.
Isn't it my turn, Shago?
Yes, it is.
Iodi is going to look over at Kalazir and he says, Iodi cannot heal her. And he will walk this way. And as he goes, he's going to drag his hand through the sand and kind of rub it into kind of like a paste. And he's just going to cast Tangle Feet at the orc that's down here below Marisol.
Oh. Now, is that a hit or a save? Or both?
It says for a hit here, attempt a spell attack against the target. A success would be a minus 10 foot circumstance penalty to speeds for 1 round, and it can attempt to escape against your DC to remove the penalty.
Yeah, he's been tangled.
And that is what I will do.
Right. That takes us to this lady. Who shouts, Atte, satana perkele! And then she charges up and smacks at Preacher with her great club. And Preacher dodges that. The gentleman here, not super keen on this whole being tangle-footed deal. He's going to try to escape that with an athletics check.
Remember, he's lying on his back.
Yeah, that's gonna affect that. He is, however, ridiculously strong, tearing himself loose from the Tanglefoot. And then moving after Sarah, leaving him with 1 action, which he's going to take to try to behead Sarah with his neck splitter.
And by
Marisol.
that you mean Marisol.
Marisol.
Yeah, Captain Balbonti. Marisol, of course. My bad. And he smacks Marisol for another 8 damage. Taking us to Monzois Edamir.
Question. Can I
Yeah.
cast 2 cantrips in the same turn as long as I have the actions?
No. 1 spell
Alright.
per turn. Unless I think there are some higher level feats. But definitely not at level 2.
Then I'm gonna turn to Albertine and be like, don't worry, I have this, and cast Stabilize on Cal.
Yep. Cal seems to breathe a bit easier. And the blood stops flowing from her face where she was smacked with the... well, it's hard to say if it's her face or not. Blood stops flowing out of her helmet where she was smacked by the club. You still can't see her face.
And I'm going to whistle to Lyrian to move twice.
Gotcha. Huge honking vulture coming down. Right. And this gentleman here is going to move, so Modor gets an attack of opportunity. He does manage to dodge that one. Gets in behind his bro. And then let me check what does this button do? What's the spell do is what I'm wondering, and how does it work?
Saving throws. Come on.
Right. He holds out his arm, and a dagger gleaming, the blade gleaming with something oily and greenish, flies out of it towards Preacher, who with his lightning quick reflexes just smacks it into the ground before it manages to cut him. And it's Zara's turn.
Zara's gonna go this way.
Gotcha. Zara's doing that sort of snake eater sort of shit.
And that was my 3 moves.
Excellent. Marisol.
Yeah, I'm pretty wounded by now.
That sounds like a you problem. What's Marisol planning on doing?
Pull back 5-foot step. And once again, try to trip him. Back into his tangled mess.
Very well. Remember the athletics check this time. Yep, he goes back on his ass again. You can hear some orcish cursing. And Marisol shoots him again.
For 7 this time.
Yeah. Right. So that takes she definitely hits. The armor is still eating a lot of the kinetic energy from the shot, it seems. Cal is busy being unconscious, taking us to Leopold.
Yeah. Leo is going to run down 30 feet. There we go. And with his bow, he's going to take a shot at our orc that's bothering Marisol.
Very well. The arrow hits, but it doesn't manage to penetrate the armor.
And we'll try again. Yeah, no.
Very well. Yeah, the gnome is muttering to himself currently, not really doing anything useful. And that takes us to Mr. Mador.
I'm moving 5 feet and swinging on the big orc again.
Gotcha. And that is a critical, good sir. Moving in, Mador comes in with speed, a long, hefty weapon, and very good aim. Shoves it in straight under her armpit, penetrating heart and lungs, and she is dead before she hits the ground. Yeah, and moving down into range of that guy. Yep. That was Mador's turn, taking us to Preacher.
Okay. How far is it?
Preacher.
Preacher's dice have been on fire this fight, so this is going to be interesting.
Can I do the 5-foot step and still have my 3 actions?
No.
Okay.
5-foot step's 1 action, so you can take a
Right.
full move or a 5-foot step. Difference between a move and a 5-foot step is that a 5-foot step doesn't provoke an attack of opportunity.
Okay. Can I still reach the guy?
Yes, you can.
Excellent. In that case, I take a very slow step forwards, making the familiar gesture of gathering up something large, as if waving about and then gathering a force of air or something. Then I'm heading him with the key strikes. So this is going to be a flurry. Is this going to be on my second attack since I used my first action?
No.
Use your first action and attack.
Okay.
You need
So
to
in this
attack for it
case-
to get attack penalties.
This is going to be with a +1 attack on both of them.
That's 2 hits. Would have been 2 misses without the key.
Okay, so in this case, it's going to be a D8 plus a D6 for the force. That's a 9.
Yep.
Another one. $13.
Yeah. Preacher moves up and with 2 swift strikes cracks the orc's skull, instantly killing him with intracranial hemorrhage, and he falls over. That takes us to Iodi.
Yodi looks over to where those two to the left just died, and he kind of sighs a little bit, and he's like, all right. And he points directly towards the orc who's laying on the floor, summons up a bit of ice to do a ray of frost at him.
Go for it, sir. Oh,
8
wow.
damage.
Yeah, he's probably going to lose at least one of his toes from that clean hit with the Ray of Frost.
And I will use my last action to shuffle directly behind Marisol, as I am the
Gotcha.
bravest hero.
Yeah, Albertine has run up, grabbed the gnome by the scruff of his collar, carried him down, and is pointing to Calasir and shouting at the gnome to, "You, fix her now! You're an inventor, invent something!" And he's going, "I'm sorry, I don't have a wound fixinator." This orc, still mad as heck, first gets up on his feet, and then he's gonna 5-foot step up and take another swing at Marisol. Hello? There we are. And Marisol just about manages to dodge, but not quite. Taking a brutal slash to the stomach for 5 damage.
And I'm going down.
Which takes us straight to Edamir.
I'm going to yell a command to my vulture to use his support benefit and make him vomit on the orc Hiroko.
Okay.
And then I am going to cast Produce Flame on him.
So that vomit thing, is that just for flavor, or does that do something?
It actually does something if I hit.
Okay, then. And you do. At least with the produce flame.
He will take 5 fire damage, and he must succeed on a DC 18 Fortitude save, or he is sickened 1.
He's a tough guy, but that was actually a critical fail.
Then he is sickened 2.
Very well, then. Yeah, he's... as he's roaring and slashing at Marisol, the vulture kind of just lands on top of his head and vomits straight into his face while he has his mouth open and screaming, and he is straight up not having a good time right now. That takes us to Zara.
I'm gonna run down south through these buildings.
Gotcha.
Maybe. Do you see my movement?
I do not. But I'm going to assume you're going to want to go somewhere like that.
I was going 25 to get a look.
Okay, so that would take you there-ish.
And then I'll use the 50 to go here.
Gotcha. Marisol, gonna need a death save from you.
Mhm. Let's see.
Imagine that.
Fortitude, right?
Yeah. Imagine that vulture vomiting in your mouth after it's been eating zombie flesh.
Nope.
It is
Ugh.
it is a flat 10.
Dying too?
Yep. Marisol is dying too. You can see her breath getting a bit more shaky and less stable. Leopold.
Leo's going to hunt prey on that orc.
Gotcha.
And then it's longbow time. Ugh. It is not.
Your orc does have -2 on all checks and DCs.
And armor class is a DC.
Yep. That is still a miss, though.
Try once more. Yeah, no, that's not going to cut it.
That is still a miss, though, but luckily he's sickened enough that it's not a critical miss, because that could have hit Marisol.
Yeah. Last action to Cherek. He's going to move up. On the other side.
He's sprinting up, looking pretty pissed off that this thing is smacking his friends about. No. You can hear the orc going, "Damn it, woman, I'm an engineer, not a doctor!" And that takes us to Mador.
Alrighty. I'm moving here. I'm gonna swing on the end of my move.
Gotcha. $14 with flank, that is a hit, sir. He is too busy visiting the vomitorium to actually defend himself effectively. Good, that was Mador's turn. Preacher.
Sitrep, do we actually see anything else that is a threat on the horizon right now?
Give me a perception check. Preacher takes a moment, spends one action to get a good proper gander at the surrounding area. He can see maybe 300 feet away, down in the wood, towards the woods. There is another orc with the same kind of skull face painting, dressed in well, what could only be described as a ghillie suit, sitting in a tree. That when it notices Preacher spotting it, starts scooting about and making like a tree and leaving.
Okay. All right. Then I'm gonna run in here and see if I can give the helping boot to the face.
Medicinal boot to the face, yes.
So let's see if we can give him a flurry of corrections. So that's 2 actions down. Is that
Yep.
still my first attack?
Yes,
Yes.
as long as you haven't attacked before.
Oof.
One is a hit, the other's a miss. Oof.
Long run.
smacking him, the armor seems almost spongy in the way it absorbs the hit from Preacher's punch. And leaves sort of a cold, tingly feeling, sort almost numb on Preacher's knuckles. Yodi.
Yeah, Coyote sees Marisol go down, and it's almost like a shadow crosses past his face. And he says, I do not appreciate this. And I will cast a 3-action magic missile on this orc.
Go for it, sir. Yeah, the orc looks sort of surprised as he looks down at the 3 fingertip with holes in his chest. And then he gulps out a small spatter of blood from his mouth and dies.
Blech.
Right. Albertine, Roran, Lyrian, Edamir. It's your turn, sir.
Edamir is going to rush over and cast Stabilize.
Ah. Yes, and Marisol's breathing again was getting kind of choppy and weak, but steadies out and strengthens as she stops bleeding from the brutal wounds that have been inflicted on her. And on that note, having been going for 3 hours without a break, we are going to take 10 for bio, coffee, smoke breaks, and that sort of thing. And we will be back in 10 minutes.
See you in a minute.
There we go. I just need all of you to take the Brummy language.
Yeah, sadly, that's extremely restricted and secret. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, back to it. Silence-ish has fallen over the battlefield. The villagers are starting to creep back. Shell-shocked, it looks like, crying, cheering, crying and cheering. And an elderly, but still powerfully built, farmer-looking gentleman in a brown and orange cloak and otherwise just regular working clothing is moving down towards Cal, carrying a doctor's bag, it looks like.
Zara's gonna walk over to this building over here and puke against the wall.
Right.
Edamir is going to look down at his singe fur from getting the flame spell on him and realize that he forgot to put his leather armor after taking his bath on, and he's like, "Huh, thought I felt more free." And then he's gonna send Lyrian to fly around and scout.
Right. I thought I saw Mador had his hand up.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and do some first aid on Mal.
Right. And give me a first aid roll, sir.
Nope.
Whoops.
Ouch.
Yeah. Moves up to Marisol, pokes one of the slashes in her torso, and she goes, "Ow!" And yep, she's injured.
Edamir's gonna be like,
good.
No, that's not how you do it. Let me show you. Cast healing plaster and try to mend it.
Some of us don't have healing skills other than basic field medicine.
Yep. He heals her for 2d8, is it? Well, she's at positive hit points, at the very least.
There were two
See?
orcs over there. I
You just
point
gotta
down
rub
the
some dirt in it.
southwest.
No. Excuse me, 2 orcs where?
Thank you.
Well, I point down into
Ow.
the corner of the area to the south east.
Yep.
We will take a look, preacher.
Is the elderly man working on Cal right now?
He is. He looks up at Mador and was like, she took a grievous blow to the head. He'll need a night of rest before he can move safely.
Well, if she is part dwarf, that probably knocks some sense into her head.
If she's part dwarf, I think it would take a stronger blow than that, but she will need a night of rest before she is ready to travel.
No problem there.
You are more than welcome to stay in Conti. Sad to say, we have several beds and houses available if you want to rest inside 4 walls. We are very thankful. It is obvious Geb sent you to us in our time of need. Mr. Iodi, thought I saw a finger up.
Yeah, I'm going to shuffle over towards where the gnome is, and then I hold out my hand, and Iodi says, "Now is the time for celebrations. I will take."
Well, the gnome gives a cigar to Iodi.
And I will just do a little puff of fire from my mouth and just go and light it. Ah, sweet victory. Another great day in the tales of Iodi.
Leo walks over. Yeah, I will be most pleased to accept your cigar now.
Gnome hands out cigars to anybody who wants some.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask about what's this about a shield repairinator?
Yes, my projects. The main force of the slavers, the hobgoblins, they took them. The shield repairinator, the truffle findinginator. My black
Which way
powder.
did they go?
They even took the goop, which is useless unless you want to turn marble into dust, because it's the only thing it does. One of my greatest failures this week.
That
Oh, no,
was
not the
supposed to
goop.
be.
They were headed. They headed northeast up towards the Valley of Jagged Teeth.
Well, that sounds like somewhere we need to go tomorrow then. Ow. I'm sitting up.
Or,
Perhaps.
I mean, how long are we going to lug these severed heads with us?
Until
They're
we find
really starting to
somewhere we
stick.
can. Until we find somewhere we can take the bounty from them.
We should probably go back to Nissan's and hit up Mr. Henry so that he can take these heads and pay us for dealing with those camps. He'd probably like these notes we found on those bandits as well.
Yeah.
We
this
should
would
also
be a
take
good
some of
idea.
the orc heads. Orc heads are always good money.
Zara's going to
true,
start
that as
rummaging
well.
through pockets.
Yeah, he looks up when you start talking about heads and like, oh, you are in luck. I am. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Leon Pfefferberg, headman of this village and follower of Geb. I can count the heads for you and write you a note to be delivered to the sheriff, if you wish, so that you don't have to lug them around.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, this is most agreeable. Thank you.
We should still take the head of Guy to Nissan's because Henry specifically wanted that one.
Yeah, we
I
will.
don't think
Sarah.
that was a conventional bounty.
No, sometimes they want the actual head to put on a spike somewhere, especially with bandits. But with orcs, who knows what an orc warlord looks like compared to just an orc weakling.
Unless the small gnome friend has piles of gold to pay us to retrieve his boobinator, yes?
He looks up at you and like, yes, I will pay for you to retrieve my projects.
I did not think he mentioned the boobinator to Eode. Never mind.
Good gnome, sir. I see you're a man of culture and distinguished. Would you happen to have a map that could lead us to where they went?
A map. I need to make a sort of a map-making machine. Yes, that would... I could print money with it. Yeah. Yes, my name, good sir, is Enzo Rochette. And I'm an inventor.
Pleased to meet you.
I am the best inventor in Conti. And also the worst inventor in Conti. I am the only inventor in Conti. But I will happily pay you great amounts of coinage for the good return of my truffle findinginator in particular.
So you don't really care about the shield repairinator?
Oh yes, that too. But the truffle repairinator is the most important because you see, you need dogs to find truffles, and I'm scared of dogs, which is why I made the truffle findinginator.
But you're not scared of me.
No, you talk. I can reason with you and give you cigars. Most dogs, that is not a possibility.
Gotcha. If we bring back the shield repairinator, could you make one for us?
Yes, if you have a wagon, you could use to transport it. It is about the size of a forge.
Never mind that.
I think we would need quite a large wagon to transport that.
I am working on miniaturization. Should take only another 70, 80 years, and it will be portable by maybe just one donkey.
Yes.
I mean, we wouldn't have a shield problem after that.
No, you can note it down. Back here in 80 years or so.
Yodi does not have problems with shields.
No, you do not, but some of us do. I think we would be better marking Enzo's position on a map, yeah? And then we can bring the broken shields to him. Perhaps he might give us what is the word? A discount?
Yodi could fix these shields if the grumpy one would just ask. Sadly, she is napping once more.
At least when she's napping, she's not yelling at us. I don't think I could stand that right now.
Yeah, speaking of standing for things, that was a very brave and quite foolish thing you did, Marisol.
Yeah, I know.
Are you all right?
I think so. I might have cracked a rib or something, but I'll be fine. No worries.
You did fight quite well. I was not impressed while I was not panicking and trying to skewer the orc for you.
Well, he's dead. I'm alive. I take that as a win.
Yeah, this is a win.
Right.
Are you okay, Albertine?
Albertine's kind of staring a bit at the carnage and looks at Marisol and I'm very surprised to find that I am. I thought I would be terrified, but I'm surprisingly calm.
You were very brave, Albertine.
Hmm.
Leo turns to the older man that was treating Cal. It is thanks to Albertine that we found you. Yeah, we rescued her from some more bandits, and she made a very convincing case for us to come and rescue you. Yeah.
Yes, I would like to ask a favor of you if you are going to a larger town or roadside inn. I would ask you escort her there, and I will write a letter for her to present to the first knight of Nosans that she meets. I believe this village is not safe for you anymore, Albertine. And he looks gravely at her, and I believe not through any of your actions that the village may be safer if you leave it. Your heritage now having come into light.
Excuse me, what do you mean by her heritage? Is this something you can tell us?
Oh, it's just like anytime any non-human looking folks are born. Find someplace else to live.
Sarah, not now, mein Freund.
In this case, and he looks at Albertine gravely. You know, of course, my dear, that your parents are not from Conti. Well, not your father, anyway. He was a traveling warrior that came through here 16 years ago from a place far away by the name of Greenhill.
I look up.
A man of great strength and character, and with a mighty thirst for our ale after he slew a demon that was plaguing these woods. Well, let's just say that you and Your mother and him got intimate one night before he left. But him being a noble of renowned name and great power, it was best that your mother not speak of it. Of course, she passed away from the winter sickness 2 years ago before she could tell you about this. We had hoped you could live your life out here, your heritage never manifesting, but obviously now it has done so. And this is not out of any fear or hatred for Albertine, you must understand. And he looks at Sarah. But somebody divinely touched like her, they're made for something greater than milking cows or fetching firewood. And whether they like it or not, they will be attracted to great evil, and great evil to them.
So she should go to Greenhill then.
I believe, as a citizen of Golden Glens, that she should, if she wishes to, serve Golden Glens first and her family after it. This is how we build community. It is as Geb would want. She nods solemnly at him again.
Yeah, well, I suppose under the circumstances that we would be glad to escort Albertine wherever she wishes to go.
I will send a letter with you upon safe delivery of her to a knight of Nasan or a trusted innkeeper who will recognize the sigil on the letter. You will be paid 600 silver pieces.
That is more than kind, sir. Well, I cannot speak for
Oh,
the
hush.
others, but I would be glad to do it purely for the good of all. Green.
600 silver. Got it in writing.
I think
This
that
one
you
does not
should
speak
say,
for all of us.
If she leaves, who's going to protect this town? You know that there's more orcs out there that ran away. They're going to be back. Y'all can't possibly defend it by yourself.
No, we cannot. It's been seen. I will send another letter to you asking that the Knight of Nosans come to our area and clean out the forest of any orcs or other evildoers. It may take a week or two, but we will go over to a neighboring village where we can reinforce their guard, militia, and hopefully be safe for the time needed. You must understand, sir, you are obviously of fine stature and powerful bloodline. That for us commoners, this is how it works. This is the world for us. Once every 5 to 10 years, something will attack that we cannot handle on our own, and people will die. But for the other 4 years, we are safe under the aegis of the Knights of the land.
Then why don't you train during the time? And be ready.
For a man to train exclusively for war, you need 4 or 5 men and women to cook, make their clothing, repair their armor, mend their boots. We don't have that sort of resource here. We support the knights, and the knights keep us alive. Sometimes a greater threat looms somewhere else.
Says who? Look at Preacher here. He fights them off with his bare fist.
Ah, yes. I had heard that creations from the First Empire were walking the land again. He looks at Preacher. But strong and tough though we may be from a lifetime of farming, I don't think we can match your friend here.
I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit.
If you would like to stay for a winter and help train the militia, we make certain you have room and board, but much more than that, I don't believe we could pay you what you earn in a week in your profession.
As tempting as that sounds, I think I have bigger things that I need to do.
Indeed, and I believe Albertine has as well, which is why I want her to follow you. She needs to be introduced to the right people who can give her the right type of training, and while that happens, we will farm and we will hunt and we will make leather and dig out iron so that when the time comes, she will be fed and clothed and have the weapon and armor she needs to defend others from the same type of threat we face here today.
Well, we will do our best to help her meet the right people, yeah? But you understand that we are all common folk ourselves. We may not have the, I do not know the word, the influence to get one of these knights to speak to us in order to introduce her.
Ah, yes, common folk. And he kind of smiles slyly when he looks at Leopold and says that. You just murdered the leaders of 2 different war bands raiding our village. I am confident that if I give you a letter that must be delivered to a knight, it will happen.
It will happen. But we are common folk, at least for myself. I mean, I came from a farm.
Common folk. Yodi does not identify as this.
And I am a simple hunter that found, well, I came to hunt people instead of animals. This is nothing. The skills I have picked up along the way are just a matter of practice.
Yes. Issues of commonality aside, he says, we shall find some of the houses that have the least amount of blood on the floors and haven't been burned down, so you have a good place to sleep and rest.
Thank you very much. I need somewhere to lie down.
Yeah, and we will be glad to help tie them up, if you wish.
No,
Preacher
please.
walks over to the headman and asks, in return, I will happily deliver the letter, but I would appreciate opportunity to clean up a little bit. Covered in blood, gore, scratches, more.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Young Jean here has been training as a stonecutter. He has the tools and the training needed to get every nook and cranny of you squeaky clean. A young boy of maybe 12 grins up at you while digging a brush out of a toolkit.
I bow to the headman and quote, small men think they are small. Great men never know they are great.
I motion towards Yodi.
Excellent.
And for the rest of us, is there a possibility for a bath?
Yes, please allow us to show you the hospitality of our village. You will be fed and clothed in clean clothing, and we will warm water for baths and fetch soap. And think not of the cleanup. We will gather the bodies of the orcs and other vermin, and we will burn them. It is what we are good at. We lift things. We build things. We make things. It is better for us and for you that you are rested and on your guard in case any other evildoers should show up and need a good walloping.
I do want to ask the gnome, if the shield repairinator is so big, how did they take it away from here?
One of them, an orc dressed in ground. I believe he had some sort of forest hidinator he was wearing. Had a bag that he just stuffed it in.
The whole thing?
The whole thing.
Impressive.
I believe it was magical, which I consider cheating.
Yeah, when you do not have one of these bags, this is a very common view.
Well, 70 or 80 years, I can miniaturize it. I know it. We just need more progress in the field of steam.
Well, good luck to you in completing your miniaturization.
Right. So Cal and Marisol are given the house that Cal and the gnome came running out of, while the rest of you are split on the other two houses adjacent, where warm water baths are fixed, and doesn't take long for them to hunt some game, so you get warm grilled meat and hearty soup in your bodies as well. Now, I know that Mr. or Miss Zara was planning on checking loot, and I assume the rest of you are doing that as well. So get your writing implements ready and tell me when you're ready to go.
Yeah.
Right. On the spellcaster, 1 dose of Blackadder Venom, 1 set of Explorer's Clothing, 1 dose of Grave Root, a vial of what Zara identifies as Invisibility Potion, a vial of Oil of Unlife Minor.
Unlife minor?
Yes.
I take it and I throw it on the ground.
1 dose of Toad Tears, 1 vial of Unholy Water, a Winter Wolf Elixir Lesser, and a Wolf Fang Talisman. Other than that, he only has a regular old wooden staff, although it seems to be made of some sort of petrified wood that you haven't seen around the Golden Glens anywhere.
Now read aura on it and see if it's magical.
Faint traces of magic probably comes from an area with high magic density, but not magical in itself. Very, it's very ready to be enchanted, having magical traces, but so it would be easier and cheaper to enchant it. On the very angry orc lady, 1+1 dagger. Affixed to the Great Club is a human bane glyph.
You said that was on the axe?
On the club. But it's easily removable and affixable to something else. A firebox trap. A Great Club +1 made of the same petrified material. A Hand of the Mage amulet. Pair of simple manacles. A Stone Fist elixir. A lesser thunderstone. One trip snare. One dose of violet venom. And one winter wolf elixir lesser. And on the gentleman that slashed up Marisol, there's a +1 dagger. One compass. One ever-burning torch. What you can, with some distaste, identify as a ghoul hide armor. One minor healing potion. One chunk of silver. And a survey map of Eastern Golden Glens. Most of the gear and weapons of the orcs and hobgoblins probably won't fetch you more than a couple of copper. With the exception of the katanas and wakizashi of the apprentices, which should go for maybe 10 to 20 silver each. There's 4 katanas, 4 wakizashi. And a total of 978 silver and 10 gold pieces.
Say that again, Shago.
978 silver, 10 gold. Now, if there's anybody who's got a scene they feel a strong need to do tonight, tell me now. If not, we are calling it, as we are very close to our regular cutoff time anyway. Nope, perfect. In that case, everybody goes to level 3. And we will call it a night for today. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Session 0 and Session 1 will be coming up on YouTube when I find the password for our YouTube channel, which I seem to have mislaid after my move. This was Session 2. We will be back next Sunday at 1800 CET and different time zones for a lot of other people. Thank you all for joining. Stay safe, stay healthy, and be well, and have a good night.
Bye.
We will let Mr. Tolmar, our esteemed streamer,